vegetation fire, exacerbated by the persistent hot and dry weather, has posed a severe threat to communities in the Woolsley area. Municipal authorities, in collaboration with firefighting teams, have been tirelessly working to contain and extinguish the flames. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi joins us now live from there. Nasiphi, a very good afternoon to you. Fires back again after a little bit of a break, but it seems that they are getting worse. How severe is the impact?
Well, Paul, the Western Cape is in the thick of the fire season. We are currently in the Cape Winelands district, and as you put it, Woolsley community faced with the vegetation fire, day 5. And we get an update from the fire and rescue services indicating that a house and a car last night or overnight were affected by the fire, also indicating that about 900 hectares have also been affected of vegetation by the fire. And basically yesterday, Paul, while they thought that things are calming down, fires indeed flared up again following a pickup of wind, or gust of wind rather, and that prompted the municipality to effect immediate or rather evacuations as a precautionary measure. We understand that those particular residents have returned back to their homes. However, as you put it, about 99% of the staff complement of the fire and rescue services in this municipality are on the ground. About 4 helicopters water bombing all across the municipality where the fire is popping up, and just sporadic fires on the ground. We've seen farm workers, including farm owners, with their bakkies and their water tankers driving up and down to see where exactly fires are popping up on the various properties, on the private properties rather, and they're basically also working hand in hand with the firefighters to put out the fire. But it does seem that, you know, the hot, dry and at times a bit windy conditions are indeed exacerbating the fire that we're currently seeing in Woolsley.
Nasiphi, we also know that as these wildfires get underway during the season, there's also been assertions around these fires being malicious and started with intent. Talk to us about those conversations as the investigation gets underway.
Well, that is the city of Cape Town, where we have seen quite a number of fires right at the beginning of the month. Vegetation fires, including the shack fires that we saw playing out in the various communities like Danun. And basically here in Woolsley, we have spoken to the fire and rescue services saying that even though that they are on day 5 and all hands on deck, they still cannot confirm the cause of this particular fire that has basically gutted or gone through about 900 hectares of vegetation fire.
Okay, I can hear that you're struggling, of course, with the heavy smoke to speak clearly, just pointing to the impact of this of these winds exacerbating the situation there. Nasiphi, as you and I speak, I can see on the screen how the fires are being dealt with. Talk to us about some of the plans, Nasiphi, and the strategy that's been put in place to contain these fires. I would imagine that teams have had to group themselves. And I know that a while ago there was also a call for other resources to be roped in to help the teams on the ground tackle these fires.
Well, Paul, as you put it, that there are a number of municipalities in the surrounding fire and rescue indicating that Drakenstein is one of the neighboring municipalities that they can call for assistance should the need arise. But as you put it, strategically, where we're currently standing in Woolsley, it is quite mountainous. And we were just speaking to some of the farm owners in this area that are obviously moving around from one farm to the next and trying to put out fire. They did indicate that with the big fire trucks, the one that just passed now, it is quite difficult for it to maneuver up the mountainous area or the mountainous route, and basically they said that with their smaller bakkies they are able to maneuver up the mountain and specifically target where the ambers or rather the flare-ups are. But as I mentioned, that there are about 4 helicopters that are counted not too far from where we're standing that are currently water bombing the mountainous area there. So a number of firefighters deployed, again speaking to the gravity of the fire that they are currently battling here in Woolsley, basically deployed in strategic positions where they are trying to doze and extinguish that particular fire. And the community here are also not leaving the work to the firefighters. Also hands on deck there, a number of bakkies, including their water tankers that they call bakkie sakis, going into the various farms that are along this stretch of road and in the vicinity where the fires are currently flaring up.
Let's give you time to catch your breath. Nasiphi, some smoke inhalation there getting the better of you. But thank you so much for that update, giving you a sense of the nature and the gravity of these wildfires out in the Woolsley area.